Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Now, I did a story yesterday with regards to the mental health provision for kids, for young children and young adults, and how so many, about a quarter of them, are now being turned away because there quite literally isn't the resources there to sort out all the problems within this particular sector. I said it's a terrible thing to do, and for any government to aim their sort of ire like this at vulnerable children made vulnerable by the government's own actions, particularly through COVID lockdowns, that it seems to be quite an evil act. It's very, very low. And we moved on. We did a whole load of other videos. Now, this is just being released. Now, this was, it's dated 2 hours ago, but it's only because I was doing other things. But it's something I think that will be quite shocking in light of the video we did yesterday. This is new. It's a new thing that they've done, and it is frankly astounding. And it goes to show where their priorities lie, not with people, not with people's health, but purely. And I joked yesterday that they do this purely independence. They'd rather spend the money on independence than on people. It's staggering. Here goes. Now, this is proof, should any be needed, that the SNP are completely unsuitable for government. We did the story about mental health. You know, it's important. It's people-based. It's something that matters. Some unachievable dream of independence doesn't matter. And yet, look at this. Anger as the SNP cut £30 million from the mental health budget, but of £35 million ring-fenced for their international embassies. This is something that needs to happen now. Lord Cameron, needs to follow up on his threat and close the embassies. Right now, today, fire everybody. That will free up that 35 million, and then they can then put that money into mental health budget. People are more important than some wanky, never gonna happen dream of independence. And yet, this woman with her 86 IQ seems to think, fuck people, we've got to live the dream. She is quite literally, with that decision, going to see people self-ending. People will die because she has a hard-on for independence. This woman is so stupid, she literally should not be allowed to even stand as a representative for the people. I've known dogs with a higher IQ than Shona Robinson. And she thinks that letting people suffer deep personal traumas, PTSDs, grief, personality problems, all sorts of issues, is far better, so long as they can keep their friends, their chums, in nice little cushy jobs at these pointless, wasting embassies. They're not even real embassies, all over the world. Goes to show that these people are just plain evil. Cutting mental health at a time when they have created so many mental health problems, and yet pissing money away on shitty little offices that have no reason to even exist. Astounding. The Scottish Government has provoked outrage after confirming that almost £30 million of cuts will be made to the country's mental health system, and Finance Secretary and stupid little twonk Shona Robinson confirmed that she had to make this tough decision on spending. She did not have to make this tough decision. She chose to make this decision. She chose to deliberately screw people and push money into an independence that will never, ever happen. This is astounding. Dear God, Cameron, whatever you're doing, drop it. Come a running, pick up the phone and throw these embassies out. Get rid of them right away. She said she also included slashing about 680 million from the current budget to pay for the mistakes they have made. The £2 billion black hole. They keep talking about a £1 billion black hole, and it's crap. It's $2 billion. It's been highlighted that the SNP executive ring-fenced 35 million for international and European relations, which includes the running costs for its 9 embassies. The SNP does not need to have international and European relations. That is handled by the United Kingdom, of which they are part. So there you go. Free up all that money. Easily done. It faced calls to cut this budget as well, so that more frontline services can be paid for. But no, they don't want to pay for frontline services because frontline services benefit people and not the cause of independence. And therefore people can go. People can die. People are replaceable. Come on, guys, have some more people. We need you. But we're not going to care for you. We only care about independence. The funding is used for overseas visits. They need to stop. And for the Scottish Government's network of offices abroad. That needs to stop. Nationalist ministers often go on expensive junkets abroad, even though they're not invited, including the leader's recent trip to Dubai to attend COP28 and cop off with all the other nasties that hang around there, like the Saudis, because obviously they've got terrible human rights record. Dubai itself's got bad human rights record. He was kissing the arse of Erdogan, a man who kills Kurds for fun. Kissing him. They've all got something in common, haven't they? They're all part of a little group, aren't they? A particular little sect, shall we say. They've all got that little one thing in common, all these people with their terrible human rights. Erdogan. What a wanker he truly is. Both of them. Anyway, last year, the budget for these activities swelled by 5.1%, from 33.3 to 35 million. Now, I think if you got rid of all these foreign junkets, told Air Miles to sit his fat, lazy arse down in a chair and do some proper work, close all these pointless, wasteful embassies which aren't embassies, and pump that money back into things like mental health, physical health, schools, roads, communications, and a lot, Scotland would be a far better place, don't you think? And certainly, having been improved somewhat, you'll find that mental health will improve along with it. Mental health is often, attributable to the environment. If you live in a downgrading, terrible environment, you will have more people with mental health issues. Go living somewhere nice, with good services, plentiful food, good communications, great transport links. Mental health improves. One is a function of the other. Now, you're still going to get people with mental issues because you don't know what goes through everyone's lives, but it is generally reduced. But that takes humanity, that takes empathy, that takes sympathy, that takes an understanding of what it is to be human. And for the SNP, that's something they just cannot get. They've got no empathy, they've got no sympathy, there is no humanity. They're all sociopaths. The warning came as Miss Robertson confirmed that she would be making severe cuts to the mental health budget. According to the letter sent to the Finance and Audit Committee, savings of 22.4 million will be made by reprofiling of spend on various mental health programmes, which means cutting them, including the Mental Health Outcomes Framework, Forensic Mental Health Reform and Primary Care. Meanwhile, a further 7.5 million will be pulled from the Mental Health Transformation Programme. An inequality and fairness review of cuts, the government said changes to mental health funding could impact the vulnerable. Yes, that's exactly what it will do. But to them, it is immaterial. It matters not. So long as they can push independence, everyone can virtually go and die. They don't care. Quite obviously don't care. Robertson is pushing ahead with the cuts because she needs to pay for the public sector pay deals because they all just went, yes, you can have what you like. We don't want to strike because we need to show England that we don't get strikes in Scotland. And so they ask for extortionately high. And then, Kendall, the man with no balls, goes, yes. Rather than, well, can we talk about it? Because that's confrontational. And he doesn't do confrontation because he hasn't got balls, has he? Well, he talks a lot of it, but he doesn't actually have any. Did I just say Scotch? I apologise deeply and profoundly. The Scottish Lib Dems, there's only 3 things that are Scotch. I know that. Egg, mist and whiskey. And tape. Anyway, The Scottish Lib Dems blasted, that's 4 things. Scotch Guard. There's 5 things that are Scotch. Everything else is Scottish. I know. I'm sorry. Anyway, the Scottish Lib Dems blasted this move with Alex Cole Hamilton saying, "My party has spent years pressing the government about the importance of putting mental health practitioners into surgeries in every corner of Scotland, cutting waiting lists and improving access to mental health support." And I completely agree. It's one of those things where, Alex Cole Hamilton and I see eye to eye on. Don't agree with him with everything. This I totally do, and I suspect a great deal many of you do. You may not of yourselves have suffered from any kind of mental health issues. You may well have, in which case you know. You may not have, but I bet you know someone who has. And you understand how important it can be. It can completely ruin people's lives, and a little bit of support can completely change them. But that's what you do when you have, a soul. Unlike these soulless technocratic zombies who are deliberately and continually trying to destroy everything they touch. Anyway, after the wee jobby broke his personal commitment to clear mental health waiting lists, yes, he did say that, and then failed, and they grew. He and Michael Matheson will now have to explain to everyone why they have snuck out a £30 million cut to the under pressure mental health services. I cannot understand how SNP ministers can hear the story of children and adults in mental torment and then respond with yet more cuts. Because cuts is what they are, or very nearly. I may have misspelt it, especially in her case. 86 on a good day. Coming up. To do what she's doing shows such a callousness, such a heartless disregard for fellow human beings. You have to wonder what goes on through her mind. To cut that amount of money from something that is very, very important and that benefits people, simply so you can protect an ideology, I think it's a crime against humanity. And I think that there needs to be a revolution, and people like Shona Robertson need to be tried, convicted, and then put up against a wall. She's not the only one, but she is the current one. And it just goes to show what an inhumane, heartless, soulless, joyless, empty, vacuous piece of human waste she and the rest of them in the party truly are. Look at the anguish caused by mental health, especially in young people, and then just be joyous that they might be suffering, but that you will at least one day keep the dream alive for independence. If you are an SNP supporter, just look at the children around you. Look at your children, look at your grandchildren, and just hope to God they don't suffer and need any kind of support, because there won't be any. But at least you will have friends of hers having a nice, highly paid job in a nice, lovely country well away from where you are suffering. I'll stop now. Thank you very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button. Definitely hit the like button. Definitely share this video. And let's show everyone what callous bastards these people truly are. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.